hear.
Really?
Really?
I turned off the sound sharing again? Is what I did? Advanced. Yep, I did. Well, why do you gotta be so complicated? Rick's learned all about Zoom being complicated. All right, let's try again. Ready?
Go Chiefs. Oh.
Welcome to the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room Podcast. We're here to podcast about anything and everything Star Wars with you. There we go. Please visit our website where you can play current and past episodes. That's https://RABR.KyleJurgensen.us. That's RABR.KyleJurgensen.us. On the left-hand side is a navigation menu. You can use this to learn how to load the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast on your Android, Apple phone, and tablet. And we have direct links to our podcast on Apple and Google Podcasts.
Yeah.
Participate by connecting to our social media, answering questions of the week, or submitting feedback directly from the site. All of these are available at the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room website at RABR.KyleJurgensen.us. And now, it's time to talk Star Wars. I am Kyle John Johansson, and this is Andrew Scott Sutton. Say hello. Hello. Hello, and we have our guests today. First time ever, we have a guest, Rick Bosley. He's gonna talk with us today. He's not showing his video because he's having some issues, but maybe if he likes us enough and he comes back, we'll get him back on video next time.
No, he's under witness protection.
Yeah, that's it.
That was a fake name.
Yeah, fake name. All right, so today we're going to be reviewing Star Wars Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 1. Hold on a second. I wasn't ready, like Scott said. And our episode is called Spoils of War. We're going to go through some news. We have just one news thing for this episode. And then we're going to do a detailed recap, discussion, question of the week, and talk about ways to give us feedback, which we're still waiting for feedback from anybody. Besides Rick. Rick's the only one that's ever sent us feedback a long time ago. And Scott, of course. So all right, so let's get into the news here. That's because our base is pretty small. It's time for the news. All right. So the news thing I got for this episode is an article I found on worldofreal.com, and Damon Lindelofs is been assigned a Star Wars movie. And he's supposed to start shooting it in April of this year. And it says Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy is to direct the movie. And it's supposed to take place after Rise of Skywalker. So it's after the last Rey Skywalker Palpatine movie. So that'll be interesting to see what it's supposed to include. Some of the characters from the previous movies, but there's supposed to be a new lead character in this movie. Go ahead. What
did you hear the news about what's his name came back to Disney, right? And now
the new CEO.
The movies are all going to theater.
Yeah.
The new old CEO, Iker. Yeah.
That's still to be determined because they're
to push Star Wars back to the theaters.
Yeah, and I they make a lot of money for Disney. I get it, but they're doing so well with their online stuff right now. They're doing better than most companies right now with online viewership. So this
Yeah.
this movie is untitled so far. It's probably got a title, but we don't know it yet because they like to keep secrets, But they're going to start. It says it will set some new lead
They
characters,
got
but
writers.
some of the old guys will come back. It's supposed to star somebody who is ethnic. It says it doesn't say black or Asian or something like that, but it's supposed to star someone ethnic. Um, and Right, that's all we have here. That's pretty much a simple one, and I thought it was important because they're starting filming this year, so that could mean that next year we have a new movie that is in theaters, like Scott said. So that's got any comments about that, Rick? That sound interesting?
Not really. I just have heard kind of the same thing that Eichner took over, but I don't think it's going to be a long-term thing. So
Yeah,
it's hard telling. I think he just was brought back to kind of stabilize the Disney,
get them
and
back on
then
track.
once that's the ship's been righted or whatever, I think he'll be let go because he's kind of more of an old school kind of mentality of straight to theaters and not so much the streaming stuff. And I don't think
Yeah,
that's going to be his forte. So
it's hard, for a company like that to transition to online because
yeah,
they're used to the instant gratification from the theater. You get people go and see movies, you get the money almost right away, right? But
yeah,
online streaming, you're paying monthly or yearly, and you don't get that instant gratification. You get it, month. Most people pay month to month.
yeah.
Um, so it's hard for them to say, okay, well, we've put 15 different shows on our streaming channel. Where, how do I monetize that and stuff? It's a whole different concept, and yeah, you're right. He's probably not the one to continue with that, even
And I
though
think they're
he,
probably going to hold. I think they'll hold off deciding if they're going to make a whole bunch of new material on the streaming because they're going to want to see how things, straighten out for them overall. They don't want to do a big investment and then realize, oh, we can't
yeah,
make our money back on that. So,
yeah, that's kind of why I think they're doing rollouts of shows kind of slow. Like, um, there's a couple shows that have been out that just came out that we're not going to see another season until 24. So,
yeah,
they wait more than a year to put out the next season, which is different too. So anyway, let me.
Yeah, and speaking of getting money back, you got out of just out of Disney altogether dollars. There is no way that I see Avatar 2 making
making
that
making a profit.
money back. Making that money back. Yeah.
I don't know. They're saying it's going to be
They
close.
spent $2 billion on that movie.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me end the news here real quick.
the news.
And then we'll play this stupid thing here.
Spoiler alert.
All right, that's just saying that when we're talking going forward, we're gonna be spoiling the episode. So if you haven't watched it, go watch it and then come back to us and listen to our review. So again, we're talking today about Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 1, Spoils of War. The episode first aired January 4th with a running time of 24 minutes. And, excuse me, in Star Wars time, this is 19 BBY. I don't remember, Rick. Have I ever explained to you what the BBY stands for in Star Wars time?
I don't think so.
Okay, so everything's based. You know how our calendar is kind of supposedly based off the birth of Christ as zero, and then it
Yeah,
goes forward,
yeah.
and then backwards. Same
Yep.
thing here, but the zero time is when the first Death Star blew up.
Okay.
So everything is in time is based off of that moment, going forward or going backwards. So if we go in the past, we add numbers of, it's weird.
Negative.
Well, it's called Before the Battle of Yavin, which Battle of Yavin is the battle with the Death Star. The Death Star was circling a moon that goes around the planet of Yavin. So it's called the Battle of Yavin. So it's before. So we're talking 19 years before the Death Star blew up is when this takes place. And then after is, Empire Strikes Back. All those movies are after the Battle of Yavin. So it would be A, B, B instead. So that's what that means. And if you have time, you can go on our website and we have a little Star Wars timeline thing there that kind of explains where all the shows fit into place.
Where the movies kind of fall.
Yeah, the movies are there, and all the streaming stuff is there too to show where they fit in with that too. Because as you've noticed, these shows all kind of pull from each other, right? They use the same kind of stuff. So continuing on, we have a couple new actors that were in the show this time. Scott found one first that I didn't even see when I first watched it. Phee Genoa, the lady that took the crate that the Bad Batch brought, is Wanda Sykes. Of course, Sid has always been Rhea Perlman. And then AZ3 is Ben Disick. And then, of course, all the clones, which we had quite a few clones besides our group, is a guy named D. Bradley Baker. He plays our Bad Batch and every clone that's in this show. So let's get right into it here. So at the beginning, Echo, Wrecker, and Hunter are fleeing a large crab creature along a beach, securing an unknown package on a tropical island. Echo berates Wrecker that they went over the plan 5 times, which that seems like a thing that Wrecker always does. And he says, "Well, at least I got the package right." Meanwhile, on the Marauder, Omega is studying some sort of tech pad that's talking about different ships and stuff in the Imperial fleet, and Tech is disapproving because she's not paying attention to it. She's trying, but she's easily distracted, right? And we get a call from Hunter saying, "Hey, they're coming, but they need a pickup. They run into some issues." You were going to say something about Omega, Scott?
She was fishing.
Yeah, with the pickup line, wasn't it? She was fishing with it.
Yeah,
that's funny too.
Typical teenager.
Exactly. Hunter called the ship for a pickup, and creatures are chasing them. They're starting to show up at the ship as well. Omega shoots them off the hull with her energy bow, using the shells of others to jump off of each other. I don't know if you noticed, she shot one and it ducked down and she bounced off of it to continue on, kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's when
then she was looking for the sweet spot of where she could harm him at.
Yeah, and she eventually falls off the little I guess that's the ramp that they would go up the ship there. She falls off and grabs onto the rope or the grappling line, and gets attached to that. And she, Tech has already got the ship in the air, so she's kind of trapped on there. And they start to arrive, and first thing Hunter says is, "Hey, what's going on with Omega?" And Omega's like, "Oh, I'm just helping out, fighting off the crabs." And they get it all hoisted up on the ship, and in the ship, and they arrive at Sid's parlor and are greeted by the robot AZ, which we were wondering if it was going to come back or not. And Sid introduces the batch to a pirate named Phee, which finds the batch's genetic mutation strange because she's probably never seen a clone that's not, always the same. Um, and they hand off the crate to Phee, and Phee walks out, and that's pretty much all we see. She has like 2 or 3 lines, right, and doesn't really say much. Just comments about the Bad Batch, and then she's gone. So Wanda had a very short live time on the show, right, Scott?
She'll be back.
Yep.
She'll be back, yeah, I think. She's all over everything right now, especially in voice acting. She's all over the place. All right, so then Sid offers the batch a job involving the planet Serenno, and they're to steal one of Count Dooku's war chests from his ruined castle. Hunter initially turns down the job because they think that that's going to be too hot. There's going to be too much Imperial traffic and stuff there trying to get the war chest themselves. But Wrecker, Echo, and Tech have a meeting off to the side and talk about the mission and basically all agree that they want to do it, and they eventually convince Hunter to do it.
It'll be the last mission that they'll have to do.
Supposedly, if they get the money, right? If they get the loot that they're supposed to get. Yeah. And like I said, Hunter's main concern is it's occupied by the Empire. But Sid says that the war chest will give the batch the future that they need to be free from her. And they all get on the Marauder to take flight out there.
That there's a part in there that's kind of interesting though, because she recognizes that the Empire is like coming. She sees her own demise. If they don't have this as kind of their last hurrah.
You're right. She does. She sees that her time is limited at what she does. Because she sees they're going to force her out, right?
Yeah.
They're going to come take over everything that she's built.
She's built up. Yep.
Yeah, that's true. That was in there. Good point. Let's see. Echo expresses his desire to fight instead of hiding. He wants to help more people. He pretty much saying he gets really fulfilled out of helping people instead of helping themselves, and he thinks that the war chest will allow them to do much more.
He seems to be ready to be all about the rebellion.
I think so too. I mean, he keeps on saying there's a lot of people out there that can use our help, and don't have anybody to help them, and so on. Hunter kind of really ignores him at this time, trying to probably come up with a better argument against that. Hunter's more worried about the Empire, I think, than Echo is, for some reason. Of course, I think
Hunter's just confused.
Could be
right now.
I mean, there's a lot going on, that's for sure.
He doesn't like the change.
I think he's more worried about Omega's future than
he might feel that is. Yeah.
He's feeling like a father.
He's playing a dad role.
Exactly.
Yep. He's feeling like a father instead of a clone.
Yep. Exactly.
Yep. All right. So the Marauder lands on Serenno, and the batch gets a visual of the bombed out city that surrounds the I don't know, castle or whatever you want to call it of Count Dooku. they see that the town is pretty much devastated. There's pretty much nobody can live in it. Um, they land in the shipyard where troopers are carrying and extracting Dooku's loot into large containers. Which, um, I mean that ship is there's probably like what Scott maybe like 400 different containers on each ship or more. What do you think, Rick? Do you think maybe more than that? 1,000
I don't know. It's
containers?
pretty
Yeah.
loaded. It would be like like a cargo ship going across the ocean. Us,
Right, that's exactly right. That's what I thought about it, and I mean, there's four of them, right? So that's I mean,
Yeah. Three.
Four. Yeah, I
three.
think so. 3 or 4.
Three.
Because one takes off almost right away when they land.
Yeah.
And then the two others take off, and they're like the last one, and they got to get on the last one, right?
Yeah, they're on the last one. Yeah.
All right, so the squad reaches the shipyard. Clone troopers are there, extracting. Um, Hunter splits up Tech and Echo and Wrecker and Omega to provide diversion. And the four make their way to the containers. Hunter plants some explosives on some of the escort ships, and looks like Wrecker gets to stun a trooper. So they start searching for items in the cargo ship of high value, and Omega finds a chest full of credits that they decide to take first. And that thing probably had. You remember in Andor, those credits they were stealing there, that was probably a crate that had as many as one of those cylinders of credits had in it, right? It was quite a few credits. Yeah. Maybe two of those cylinders. It was quite a bit. Probably at least I don't know, 30,000 credits maybe. It was quite a few.
Being shiny, that's what they told her.
Exactly. Something shiny. Anything shiny. The clone trooper Captain Wilco orders his troops to find the incapacitated clone, because they realized that clone that a Wrecker has stunned is no longer reporting in. And they find him and realize that something's going on, and that's when a Hunter detonates the explosives on the escort ship to distract them. And Wrecker grabs the credit-filled chest off the cargo ship and runs back to where Hunter and I think Hunter's by himself at the time, and the container doors to the actual container they were on close before everybody gets out. So Wrecker gets a little crate, but Echo and Omega are stuck in the big crate that they pulled it out of, chest out of. Wrecker and Hunter engage in a firefight with clone stormtroopers, and they try to scale the container to get to Tech, Echo, and Omega. The two slip off the container and decide to go back to the Marauder to recover them. Tech decides that they will try and command an escape pod, and the trio make their way through the ship while they fight through multiple sets of clone troopers. Wrecker and Hunter makes their way into Dooku's office, but they're cornered by clones at Dooku's desk. And Captain Wilco orders that all the escape pods to be released, because he knows what he would do, so he's releasing the pods so they can't get off. And I think it's Echo that's plugged into the ship with his arm, announces that they've released the escape pods and they need to find another way out. And Omega comes up with a brilliant idea. She, from her reading of the tech manual, she realizes that all of these uh, these pods or cargo pods have engines on them, and they're built to, if there's a crash, that they will land themselves on the ground safely. So she's like, "Why don't we get in one of those? Why don't we get in one of those and just write it out?" So they make their way to one of those, and they cause some sort of diversion that causes all the crates to come off the ship, right? And Hunter, back at Dookus Palace, Hunter is trying to find the controls to activate the lift panel. It's jammed that they're standing on top of. It's like an elevator panel, and Wrecker jumps up and down on the lift until it finally goes down, and Hunter's like, "No," because he's probably afraid of getting hurt on that, falling down that. Lift panel, it's jammed. He falls down the shaft. Tech Echo Omega dodge the Imperial pursuers in their cargo ship, and he initiates the release, which deactivates the force field holding the various crates. Like I said, the clones start to fall in their crate, and they're all worried that the thrusters aren't going to fire, right? And that's where our episode ends. They're in the crate, and it hasn't fired yet, and they're getting really close to the ground. And I was going to actually show this on the next episode, but I'm going to show it now. So bear with me. Share my screen. You guys see my screen?
Yep.
This is a picture of Hunter at the panel that he's trying to get the lift to go up and down. And I have someone on Twitter who translated all this text for us. So I was just going to show that. So the first screen that we see, it translates to personnel, utilities, security, defense, systems. Let me go back so you can see it again. So that's that's called Azure Bash, is what that language is called, the Star Wars language, Rick. It translates to that. And then he's fumbling around doing some other stuff, records jumping around. And he gets to another panel screen. That's what this one is. And it translates to, there's a misspelling there. The guy didn't change it on the image, but it's supposed to say Turbo Lift Interface. Yeah. Level 35 is where they're at. So he's trying to get the elevator to go up and down, basically, right? I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
Because they put those about that. It looks like they were at the top level, but that thing shows level 36.
Yeah. The box in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it says over here, level 35 is where there's 36, 35, 34. Yeah, so they're trying to get down there, and it's not any good. Yeah, and I just find these things interesting. That this language that they have is always interesting, and Scott and I have gotten other things translated before from, I think it was Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I think Boba Fett too, that are like that. So let me stop sharing. Share my sound. All right, so that was our full episode. It was pretty short, like I said, 24 minutes. What do you guys? Have you guys any additional thoughts or anything about it? Scott,
pretty good when to return.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Sorry,
it's been a while since we've seen it.
True, and I think definitely we'll find out when we do the next episode that these kind of went together, right? They're obviously go together. It's they just split it up into two. So I mean, it's a good way to start. I think I always like, when shows season premiere and they have a longer episode to start with. So this kind of satisfies that with 2 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Kind of get you vested in it.
exactly. So we have let me push a button here first. Feedback at KyleJohansson.us. That's feedback, KAILEJOH. All right, so you can go to that email address and send us feedback if you'd like. You can also go to the website on the left-hand side, one of those sides over there, and there's a link there to go to a form that you can fill out and send your feedback. I believe that's the one that Rick did, and Scott's done before as well. I'm trying to find something. Oh, it's on my other screen. All right, so we have that, and then we have a question of the week that allows you to put comments in after you've read and filled out the question of the week, and then of course, when we get the video up on YouTube, you'll have ability to comment there. And speaking of the question of the week, this question of the week is one that Rick came up with, and I'm trying to find exactly what I put because I changed it. It is shit. What is in the trunk that Phee takes after the Bad Batch brings it back to Sid's at the beginning of the episode? So what's in the trunk? What do you think, Scott? What would be in that valuable trunk that the Bad Batch had to grab?
I don't know.
All right, so on the question here, what'd you say? On the question here, I put several choices. I put spice, weapons, precious metals to fund her new life, and contraband she's pirating to help others escape. So she's using it to fund, helping others and escape from the Empire, kind of thing. And I don't know what Rick, but I put spice is what my answer would be. Just because I have bad feelings about everybody anyway. So, what was your answer, Rick? What would you think it would be?
I put it was for the future, like funds. Kind of just going back with Sid's comment, the future's ending, and then she also made the comment before she left, that wasn't going to be free; it was going to cost her. So
exactly, so she was going to have to repay her sometime in the future.
Yeah, she's a pirate. I think she's seeing her future is pretty limited, and she's trying to just start all over again.
Yep, that's a good point. Yep. So that's the question of the week. Let's go ahead and close out the feedback. Yeah, so we'd really appreciate anybody, even those in India, to send us feedback from all those sources. Any last thoughts about this particular episode before we end our thing here?
No.
All right, let's do.
Still falling. Remember?
That's right. We're still falling. Help me! All right.
Be continued.
We haven't landed yet. Come on.
I'm going to run the outro then real quick. Thank you for listening to the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast. Please visit our website where you can play current and past episodes. That's https://RABR KyleJohansson.us. That's RABR KyleJohansson.us. On the left-hand side is the navigation menu. You can use this to learn how to load the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast on It's your over there. Android or Apple phone and One of tablet. those directions. And we have direct links to our podcast on Apple and Google Podcasts. Please participate by connecting to our social media, answering questions of the week, or submitting feedback directly from the site. Again, all of these are available at the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room website at RABR.KAILEJOHANSEN.US. This podcast in no way is approved, sponsored, by Lucasfilms Ltd, Disney, Disney Plus, or any of its subsidiaries. All opinions are solely owned by Kyle and or Scott, and in no way express the views or opinions of the past or present employers. Views and opinions are not supported or restricted by Lucasfilms Ltd, Disney, Disney Plus, or any of its subsidiaries. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or any or other use of this podcast and its affiliate sites without consent of Super Duper Podcast Network and its host is prohibited. I am Kyle Hansen. This is Andrew Scott. Say goodbye now. Bye-bye. We've got Rick as our guest host too. Say goodbye, Rick. That's the end of our episode.
Adios.
So, I'm going to turn off recording for a second. Okay, so let me push the button.
Commercial.
Nope.